Hey friend, how are you? I hope you're well. Today I want to share with you the 10 affirmations that have changed my life. As I shared in my last video, affirmations and mantras are such a huge part of my life. And since I started bullet journaling in 2018, the affirmations that I have spoken over myself daily have been such a big part of the way my mind works, who I've become, and what I've been able to let go of. So I wanted to share the top 10 of those, I think around 60 affirmations that are throughout my journals with you, so that maybe you can apply them to your own life, see how maybe you could even tweak them a little bit to really align you with the life you deserve and what you want for yourself. I am not moved by the applause of man, but by the fullness and greatness that you have put in me. This affirmation represents what God has put in you, what God has put in me. Because sometimes when we're doing the work, the applause doesn't come right away. And if we're connecting our value to the cosign of others and that applause isn't coming, it can be very difficult, if not impossible, to keep going on the path you're meant to go on. This was a 2018 affirmation before I quit my job, before I became an entrepreneur. And it's so interesting how my spirit was already priming me for the fact that the path I was going to get on 1 year later was going to take me to some dark and extremely lonely places. And because I already knew that my conviction, my motivation to do what I did was going to be rooted in the fullness and greatness inside of me, not in the results outside of me, it made it so much easier for me to walk the path. I accept my role as a messenger, relaying all that you have put in me. This affirmation triggered an amazing and very necessary shift for me in 2019, because one of the things people probably wouldn't guess about me is that I have severe stage fright and anxiety. I do not like speaking in front of people, although I'm here making videos and I speak for a living. Those things scare me, but at the same time, this mindset shift of becoming a messenger has made it much easier for me to speak and do the work I'm called to do without feeling like I'm gonna vomit every single time I get on a stage. The concept of being a messenger to me works in the way that I am doing the middleman work. So imagine you're getting a delivery from Amazon and the delivery truck pulls up to your house and the person who's going to deliver your package gets scared and they're like, oh, I don't know if they're going to like this package, so I'm not going to drop it at their door. And you see them out there struggling and you're like, can you just give me my package? This has nothing to do with you. Even if I don't like it, it's between me and Amazon. But here, if you look at yourself in the same perspective, it makes it so much easier to do the work. I get ideas divinely downloaded to me from God, and I take those ideas that are given to me and I'm the messenger. I'm not here to justify if people like it or not. I'm not here to satisfy anybody. All I'm here to do is to deliver the message and be at peace that those who are meant to receive it will receive it. Those who aren't will not. And this has no direct implication on my value. This has allowed me to really release the stress and the pressure and the anxiety of doing all the things I do, because as long as I have delivered the package, everything else is out of my hands. I release all of the negative ties holding me back. This was the pinnacle affirmation of 2019. To say that you want to release everything that is holding you back means you have to brace yourself for the ripping of things that you've been comfortable with, people you've loved, things you always thought would be a certain way. This is why it's so important when coming up with affirmations that you open your mind to the ways that they can manifest. If I had known at the beginning of the year that saying I release everything holding me back would eventually lead me to a breakup of a relationship that I thought was the one for the rest of my life, I probably wouldn't have said it. But looking back now and seeing how it was indeed holding me back, I'm grateful for all of the ups and downs and arounds that it took me through. because letting go of everything that wasn't serving me, everything that was holding me back, gave me space in my hands to pick up everything that was purposed for me, meant for me, and that was going to take me to where I was destined to be. May my direction stay aligned with my purpose in destiny. Sometimes we think we're on the right path and we start going full throttle, and then all of a sudden we take an unexpected turn. And what this affirmation really does is ease those shakeups, those turns, because if you believe and if you are intentioning that every turn is going to lead you to where you're meant to be, then you trust that you are constantly aligned with purpose at all times. All of you through me in all ways, always. This affirmation was actually the cover page of my 2021 bullet journal, because all of 2022, at the end of all of my journal entries, I would write, all of you through me in all ways, always. And what this really means is a constant reminder of who you are, what you represent, and how you're supposed to do it. So all of me, which is every single part of who I am, through all of you, which is through the lens, through the responsibility of Christ, through the vision of who Christ called me to be, in all ways. So in every single way you can consider, it's not just in the good stuff, but also when I'm having a hard time, when I'm dealing with someone who's difficult, when the struggle is there and the petty bone is itching, always. So always, we're not denying it, we're not changing it. Always, every day, day or night, this is a constant reminder to me of who I am, what I represent, and how I am supposed to steward this responsibility well. So this was a really big one for me, all of 2020. Yes, all of 2020. And then in 2021, it was that constant reminder. As soon as I picked up my journal, right in bold letters on the front page was this reminder of who I am, when I'm supposed to be like that, and how I am supposed to be. Opportunities find me everywhere I go. What you expect becomes your reality. So for me, in 2021, I wanted to have my mind blown with opportunities. And the way I started training my mind for this was to determine that there wasn't a place that I would be. There wasn't a group of people that I would be around where I wouldn't meet an opportunity that could shift my life. This was everywhere from grocery stores, mail room lines, at the gas station, in the elevator, on the commute to work. It was everywhere. And what this really did was, one, fine-tune me to be able to notice these opportunities. If you're expecting something, the moment it comes up, you're going to notice it. Why? Because you are sensitive to the fact that it's there. And then what this also did was prepare my mind for all of these opportunities that were going to come. I wanted these opportunities to find me everywhere I went. So I went looking for them. And when they came, I was always ready because duh, what else was going to happen? I remember during this time telling people about the random things where I would say hello to someone and we'd get to talking and they would tell me that what they're into is exactly what I'm into. And we would set up a meeting and they'd be like, that's so random. And I'm like, no, opportunities find me everywhere I go. So because I had already made this my truth, it started to manifest in every single part of my life. Thank you, Lord, that every part of my life is aligned for my good. When it comes to the difficult times that we experience, it can be very hard to see the other side. But when you take this affirmation and remember that everything is aligned for your good, it's this tiny little glimmer of light or hope in the midst of that darkness that can really elevate you and move you to better, move you to what you're meant to be in. I also have a ring on my finger that I wear in almost every single video. And what it says on it is better still remains. And this is another mantra that's very similarly aligned to this one that just reminds you that I thought that was the best opportunity of my life and it ended, therefore better still remains. And it's just that constant reminder that even when things are not looking the way you had hoped them, the way you had intentioned them, the way you had planned for them to look, the realignment, the lessons, and everything is still going to ultimately work out for your good in the end. And in the midst of that sadness, hold on to that to keep you going till you get to the end where you're like, oh, damn, so that's why that happened. Ah, shout out to life. My light shines undeniably and attracts mind-blowing opportunities to me. There is a necklace that I wear every single day, and what it says on it is light and salt. This is a reminder that we are the light of the world and the salt of the earth. And when you consider yourself a light, when you walk into spaces remembering that you're a light, it reminds you that you bring in the atmosphere of the space you're in. I can walk into any dark space and bring light. I do not need to absorb anything that I don't believe serves me because that's the status quo, because I hold power over myself. And the expectation of being a light is that it shines. And when it shines, that warmth, that safety, that glow attracts people to you, and not only people, but mind-blowing opportunities. This is something that has happened to me so much in my life. Last year, I booked an ad campaign with L'Oreal, and it was my first audition, the only modeling experience I've ever had. I was booked for one day. I was only supposed to shoot stills. I come in for my fitting, I introduce myself to everybody, and that same night, I get an email from my agent saying, they actually want you to come in for 2 days. I was the only model selected to come in for 2 days. I went from only shooting stills to shooting video, hand modeling, testimonials, a commercial, and my stills. And when I spoke to the director, she said, you walked in here and your energy was so undeniable that I was like, there's no way you can't be in every single part of this campaign. They ended up calling me the breakout star of this campaign, and it pretty much gave me this crazy opportunity that I never would have expected. But it was that light in me, that energy in me, that glow, that effervescence, that sauce, whatever you want to call it, that when I entered that room, an opportunity found me that blew my mind more than I ever expected. I am worthy of the good that is coming to me. This affirmation is one of those ones that I think really shifted my mind in a way that I absolutely needed. Because when we're here talking about opportunities and all of this, oh, opportunities are finding me everywhere I go, they could find you, but if they don't find you well, it's going to be a waste. For me, one of the things I really struggled with was feeling worthy of things. So when someone would do something nice for me, I'd be like, oh, it's okay. I don't need it. I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want it. But I'm blocking my own blessings. There was a time when a friend of mine had offered to bring me food. And oddly enough, that day I was actually sick and not feeling good. He had no idea. And he's like, oh, I want to grab you some food, just unprovoked. And I'm like, it's okay. Don't worry. I don't want to stress you. And he literally told me, let me bless you. Let me bless you. And I sat there and I'm like, someone wants to do something nice for me. And for whatever reason, I don't believe I deserve it enough for them to do the thing that they said they want to do. So really digging into this affirmation, really saying it over yourself, I'm worthy of the good that's coming to me. I'm worthy of the good that's coming to me, will prepare you so that when those good things come to you, you don't flinch, you're not nervous, you're not scared, because duh, you're worthy of them. So when they're coming in, it's like, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And you absorb every single one of them. I trust you more than gravity. This affirmation was the cover affirmation of my 2022 bullet journal, and it has truly shifted my faith life, my faith walk, and the way I see the world and the way that I see God. You wake up every morning, you get out of bed, and you are never concerned that you're going to wake up and be on the ceiling, or the bed's going to be on top of you, or your house is going to be floating through the ether. Why? Because you trust gravity to do what it does. When you step out of bed and you put your foot down, you never hesitate and say, well, is there even a ground there? Because gravity is going to fail me. But when you think about the concept of gravity and you think of God as the creator of gravity, gravity is going to fail before God fails. So if I truly trust God, and this was the mindset shift that really activated a level of faith that I couldn't even fathom. If I truly trust God, I should test the ground as I get out of bed, because the ground is more likely to be on the ceiling than God is to fail. And if I even were to just take God and match him to gravity, you know what level of trust that is? So this affirmation was the one that really shifted my mind. And now I'm in a place where my faith in God is so strong that the sky is going to become the floor before God ever fails me. Because if his creation is that trustworthy, imagine how much more trustworthy the creator is. And conceptualizing my faith in God in such a tangible way, comparing it to gravity, really helped me solidify that faith, because I think about gravity all the time. You could even put something like, I trust you more than oxygen. Gonna wake up and take a deep breath, and there ain't gonna be nothing in the atmosphere before God ever fails you. I hope these affirmations help you and that you can pull something from them. If you're looking for some affirmations to say that will really help you align who you wanna be, what you say, and your current reality all into one juicy pile. And as you're going through this, it's not easy, right? Like, these are things that I've been saying since 2018. So of course I've been priming myself and getting myself deeper and more convicted. But as you're going through it, give yourself grace. Be kind to yourself and remember that you are a work in progress, making progress. So step by step by step by step, keep doing it. And if you want to hear more of my affirmations, if you want to share some of yours with me, leave them in the comments below, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.